Hey everybody, looks like we are live. How you guys doing? Welcome to yet another Wednesday. Looks like we made it, so that's good. This is part one of painting the beautiful and talented Dua Lipa. If you haven't seen her, she's amazing. She's Albanian. She's gorgeous. And maybe she's going to see this live stream and want me to do a big portrait of her. We can only hope, right? So, how's everybody doing today? Let's see, who do we have so far? We have Mr. Roy. Good to see you. Bradley, how are you today, sir? So I'm so glad you guys are here, and that's pretty exciting. So today, of course, we're going to be working with my India ink mixtures. And we're mostly going to be working in the light mixture, which is right here. Let me go ahead and focus. Yeah, it is a light mixture. We'll be working in the light mixture as well as working in the white mixture. And the white mixture basically is to bring her forward. So when we start doing the light mixture in different values, things are really going to come together. To apply the light mixture, I am going to be using the Vega 1000, which is modified by myself to give it just a little more detail, but still have that ability with the larger needle and nozzle combination to push through the white, which is made from Drew Blair's 50/50 illustration white. Okay, so that's good. Hey John, how's it going? Nameless subscriber. Blind Symmetry, nice to see you. South Jersey, all right, Jersey strong. So that's what we'll be using. After that, for using the light mixture, which is right here, we are going to be using my custom Extreme Patriot arrow. And I customize it with a different needle, a spring at the pack valve, a different trigger, a different backing. So a lot of things that I did to make this a little bit more, actually more like a turbo Extreme Patriot arrow. If you're interested in purchasing this, just go ahead and in the description field you'll see that you can actually have a link. There's a link in the description where you can go ahead and purchase this beautiful piece of equipment. I use this 24/7, so definitely, if I didn't believe it, I wouldn't use it. So that's true. And so here we are, magnets. I have the drawing in pencil down. I went ahead, I made several cutouts, and I made those cutouts with regular copy paper. And then, oh, thank you, John says, hit that smash button. Definitely do that. Thank you, John. And so, Colette, good to see you. How are you? So, Colette's in the house. That's exciting. So, I use these wonderful magnets, and I have a piece of metal, like a metal bulletin board you can get at Amazon. And, you know, it fits on your table, and then these magnets work, and things don't move around. And, you know, it's always good when things don't move around. So let's go ahead and focus this bad boy right over here. Let's see, I like to blow it up and then I know I'm focused. Bam, there it is. Oh, I can see there's something there, a little smush, smush, smuts, smuts. That's what my Jewish friends say. Okay, so here we are. Now, our goal is to get the white mixture and start to move things around. Yes, I'm definitely going to bring up the reference material there, definitely. So we'll make that happen. First, let's get this chat viewer going. And because I know you guys like to see the chat, what people are talking about, all that good stuff. And it's doing that. While it's doing that, let's go ahead and I'll bring up a picture of the beautiful and talented Dua Lipa. And we're just waiting for that to go through. And you guys should pop up any second. There you are. Bam! Mr. Garcia, how are you today? So glad you're here. So I'm so glad you're here, Mr. Garcia. And what I'm doing is I'm adding a sauce. I'm going to go ahead and add media. So I got to find Miss Lipa over here. Where are you? Let's see. Here she is. Bam! There she is. And put this pretty lady over here. Okay, so you can see what we're working at. And so that's cool. So Brad's doing some great things over there. So's Todd. Hey Todd, how's it going? So's let's see. So is John, and you know, it's really cool to see you guys. And let's go ahead and load this guy. We're gonna make sure that my Vega 1000 is working correctly. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my compressor. As you can hear, the compressor is very low. Hey Hillbilly, how you doing? Good to see you. So glad you can make it. Okay, so let's see. So we got a lot of cool people here already. So thank you everybody for hanging out with me. You know I appreciate all of you very, very much. Let's see. Okay, 16 people in here already. How cool is that? Thank you so much. Hanging out with Tim on a Wednesday. So I like that. Okay, now the main thing is when you're testing this out, you want to make sure always that you do your initial tests on a piece of paper and not on your artwork, right? And I just lower that with the Mac valve. Yeah, that would be tragic, right? If, you know, we go ahead and test it on our artwork and bam, it would be bad. Oh, cool. So glad, Hillbilly. I'm so glad. And Mr. Willie, how are you, sir? So glad you're here. How great is that, hanging out with Willie? And let me just darken this just a tad. Ooh, I'm going the wrong way. Okay, cool. Okay, so now what we got to do, now what we want to do, is we want, move her over here so you guys can see. We want to basically create a bas-relief. And a bas-relief is basically a phrase. Hey, Mr. David Lee Trevino! Is when you have a flat piece of rock or a flat piece of stone, and what the bas-relief would do is they would just, you know, bring things forward by pushing everything back, and that's what we're doing. So we're sort of having that, you know, having her come forward out of the rock or the gray paper. So bas-relief. Doing okay, Mr. Willie. I'm so glad you're here. So now what we're going to do, and remember this is pencil, so we can erase all these lines, so no problem whatsoever. 1 second rule always applies, and even though we're doing a large area, let's put on some glasses, right? Okay, and here goes nothing. So when you're doing the light mixture, it's not going to look like you're doing anything. You're going to be about 6 inches away for the most part, and we're just going to very gently touch on here. About 6 inches. Don't worry about being so careful because you'll be able to erase. Hey Patty, good to see you. How are you? Now it looks like we're not doing anything, but believe me, we are. And we're just going to worry about an overall tone at this point. We're not going to worry about making things lighter in different areas. We're just looking for the local light area, right? That's the main thing, you know? Oh, for those fingernails, yes, those little tiny ones. Exactly. Now I'm going to always make sure that I'm not spraying paint without pulling back, because if that's happening, I'm going to get an definitely not a good calibration as far as how much paint I'm putting there. So you want to have immense control when doing this. Now, like I said, it looks like nothing's happening, but it really is. I'm going to lower the pressure a little bit more. By lowering the pressure from a good distance, you're actually getting more control of how much paint or material is coming out of your airbrush. And then you just wait a second to see, because remember, when you first put it on, it's actually wet, and being wet is going to make the paper darker. Not until it dries does it really show exactly what you did. And we're just going to continue down. As you see, we're getting some nice soft application of the white. And as you see, we're going to really take it easy, not go too crazy. Now, why did I cover the hands? Because the hands are coming forward. And the fact that the hands are coming forward, I definitely want to paint them separately because they are separate from the face. If I paint them at the same time, it's going to flatten the hands and look like they're not actually coming forward in front of her face. I hope that makes sense. Funny thing is, it looks like we're not doing anything, but we really are. So just know that although it looks like we're not putting a lot of white down, we certainly are. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down a little more stronger areas of white, and I think that's going to go a long way to actually create a little bit of depth. So in between her eyebrows is a blast of light. Again, I'm going to let it catch up because it might look like I am not putting a lot of white down. However, I most certainly am. Okay? I'm going to raise the pressure a little bit. Got a little carried away. Everyone gets carried away a little bit. So right here on her nostril, I just want to make sure I separate that from the white here. Take your time to find that edge with your freehand shield, okay? Take your time. There we go. Okay, so now it's dry, so we're going to take our kneaded eraser first, and let's see if we can get rid of some superfluous pencil lines. Let's see. Let's try this one. And just as I suspected, I'm able to get rid of that pretty easily. And then we can go back over that again, just like so. Whoop, put that over there. And then what I can do is I can go over that again with the white. I think that looks a little scary right now, but Remember, we never get emotional when it comes to paint. There we go. And just cover that up right easily. Okay, so now the good thing by using the Drew Blair's 50/50 illustration white, we don't have any problem erasing. It pretty much comes off pretty easily, and I see people saying hello to Steve. I don't see Steve. Where? Oh, there you are, Steve. How's it going, sir? Good to see you. Go and hey, Mike, how's it going? Okay, so now what we're going to do, maybe just a little bit more over here on the forehead, but I have a feeling that I'm a lot stronger than I think I am as far as with the white. Let's see. Right here, a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to lift up these. And there we go, and look how much white. It's very light, right? That's a lot. That's like really powerful. And so we're going to work on her hands separately, but let's go ahead and see if we could start erasing a little bit where we went a little crazy. I'm going to do it with the kneaded eraser. It seems to be a lot more gentle. Go. And you can see the pencil lines are starting to come off pretty easily now. What it does is both the India ink and the white mixture basically don't cover up the surface and trap the pencil lines like acrylic would. So that's one of the many reasons why you should be using this method if you're working in black and white. One of the many reasons. And you see I got a little bit overzealous over here. And I'm just going to fix this edge here. That's all, just fix it. The MAC valve came apart. Uh-oh. There we go. Of course, this is all going to be covered with it's all going to be covered with the light mixture. Go. So remember, we said we wanted to paint those her hands separately, so let's make that happen. So as you can see, I pre-cut this, and I am going to see if I can get this pretty as Curb Your Enthusiasm. What is it? Larry David would say, pretty good. Any Curb Your Enthusiasm fans out there? I know you're out there. Let's see. Pow. Okay. Put some of these little guys here. Let's see. Okay, so let's go back with Mr. Light Mixture here, and always test on a test piece of paper. Never test on your artwork. Never, ever, never. Remember, distance is important. Just again, like Sun Tzu, the angle of attack is always crucial for victory, and the same goes for airbrush. So make sure you get your angles of attack correct, okay? There we go. Always protecting those edges. Protect the edges. Yep, always protect those edges, guys and girls. Remember, you guys know the drill. Perpendicular and not parallel. Perpendicular and not parallel is crucial to get an even tone without any kinds of outlines when you're using freehand shields. Of course, there is always exceptions to the rule. We don't usually talk about the exceptions because they're the exceptions. See, by painting the hand separately, we're going to get different edge work, right? There's going to be different edges when we do that. So it will show up, okay? Trust me, it will show up. There we go, look how beautiful. Miss Dua Lipa should be so happy, I hope. We hope, we hope. Okay, so let's remove this. I think we're in good shape to remove it. Feel like I'm playing chess. Checkmate. Or checkers. King me. Let's make this happen. Pa-pow! Alright, look at that. You got the hands, you got the face, the mouth, everything is happening. What's happening? I have no idea. That is on page 1 of the book. That is so true, Willie. I'm telling you, that book is going to be fat. But yeah, page 1 is definitely perpendicular and not parallel. And so, okay, so here we are. So it looks kind of weird. She looks ghostly, you know, spooky, you know, but you know what? It's all right. She'll be all right. Okay, so we're just going to put her over here. There we go. Pa-pow. There. Now, okay, so test paper is just one more thing for you to keep track of. Looking for something I misplaced can ruin. Yeah, that's so true. Brad says, what do you use for the surface under the magnets? I purchased this up on Amazon. It is a metal like little bulletin board, and it's really cool. I really like it. I think it's 12 by 16, which it's metal and it's steel, so it works really, really well, you know? So really good. All right, so this guy will leave here because you never know. We might be like, oh my God, we missed a little bit of a white area. So we're going to keep that. So what I'm going to do is going to get my other hose. And I like to call the other hose, and very creative. And then I'm going to get my Extreme Patriot Arrow 3D coming at you. Look at that. Whoa. And we're going to make this happen. Let's see. All right. So I don't need my keyboard because I'm not going to be typing. You guys are typing. I'm talking. So we'll move the keyboard out of the way. All right, light mixture. Let's make sure we put that light mixture far away from the painting because that would not be good. So a lot of preventative measures, you know. The best defense is not to be there, my sensei once said. Actually, he would say that a lot. Someone's punching at you, the best defense is not to be near that punch. So, where is my top? Here we go. And, right, remember, test. Never test. Never ever test on your artwork. Never ever do initial sprays after putting new ink or paint or whatever in your airbrush. Especially the first time you're using it. When you clean it, you might not have put it all the way forward. You go, psh, and then all of a sudden, que triste, right? What did the Spanish fireman say to his two sons? I give up, sir. Let's hear that. Jose and Jose B. That's funny. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to start working on our favorite part, which is, I know, you guys might get fresh when I said that, her eyes. Okay, so let's make sure. I know what you guys and girls were thinking, so why don't we blow it up? Let's see. Let's make this happen. So if I go here, come up. Wow, that's big, huh? But pow. All right, let's focus. Focus, Tim. All right, so let's go ahead and now I gotta focus on my work. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm about 1.5 inches from the subject. Try and be as beautiful as possible with your application, but also just know that it's your initial application and not everything is going to be smooth at this point. No? Just going to continue this up. And you can see that the dark of the eye pretty much connects with the dark of the hair there. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. So now let's go ahead and work on the other eye real fast. Okay. You know, always lower the pressure. So always look at the angles, and I can see that the angle slightly goes up here. So I'm going to make sure that I establish that. Go. And now we can zoom out. And as you can see, that's looking super dark, but no worries, everything else is going to catch up. So let's go ahead and establish the eyebrows. And of course, we'll start at the eye we started with. So let's go ahead and very lightly just establish the eyebrows there. Like little dagger strokes. Now it would be easy for me to just, fill in the drawing, but you never want to do that. You always want to have the 1 second rule going. So you're going to go back to, hey, what's going on there? How are you there, Bill? I always have the air on, and I make sure that I very slowly apply the airbrush, apply the light mixture. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue with the eyes here. Like I said, it might seem blotchy in the beginning. It's all good, okay? Don't worry about it. Now, let me lighten it up because it's not indicative. What you guys are seeing is not indicative of what I have here. So I'm going to go to color, and I'm going to go to, there we go. That's probably more indicative to what I'm seeing, so hope that helps. Okay, so now let's work on her nostrils. Remember, distance is going to get you different values. So definitely remember to use distance to your advantage, okay? Same thing on this side. Hey Patrick, how's it going? Good to see you. Okay. So Steve, when you are using this paper, I think you said, Steve, if I'm not mistaken, that that you put down a coat over everything, like a white over everything. Is that true, Steve? Because Steve uses this technique as well, right, sir? And I know Bill uses this technique as well, too. Let's see. Okay, so you see I have like an initial application already, which is good. Let's see. And then when so Colette says she normally watches Tim feed on her tablet. Oh, now Colette got a new 2-monitor system on her computer now, so she can see things really up close and personal, which is great. That is so cool. So now I'm going to look and see if I have the positives of the negatives and the positives of that cutout, or I would just have to go ahead and cut that out again. So let's see. Oh, so Steve says the Whitey learns to put just the highlights. Okay, great. That's fantastic. So that's good to hear. So we have the negatives and the positives. So right here, let's see if we could, actually what I want to do is I want to start working on her hair. So I'm going to get another one of these printouts that I have of Dua Lipa. Here we go. And then of course I'm going to take her and put her aside right now. And I still like doing the cutouts, although I don't do the footballs as much, but I still do the cutouts. I learned about the magnets, so that's good. Let's see. Okay, razor blade. Let's see, where is the razor blade? And okay, so we're going to be cutting out her hair. So this is very important. So I'm going to also do the whole 1 second rule with this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to start with her hairline. Someone once said, and I say this often when I do this part, is that when you're cutting to always look a little bit before your blade, and it seems like your hand kind of follows, which is really cool. And I'm going to get a small version of her. I'll just put that here. And hey John, how's it going? Good to see you. So cool. So does anyone out there have any questions about, when to use the light, the medium, and dark mixtures? If anyone has any questions about that, please go ahead and let me know. I'm always happy to answer questions. So the hair is a very loose area, it's a very large, loose area. Just like that. And this part of the hair, I'm not worried about. It's just a little bit of hair right here. So I'll just bring this out over here like that. Okay, so now I'm just going to come back over here and finish up the hair. So let's see where we are. Hey, Mr. Steve, how's it going? How you doing today? How's everything with all the activity and all the inoculations? You must be really overwhelmed sometimes, huh? Well, not you. You're a professional and one of the best, but I'm sure it is pretty daunting sometimes. Oh, definitely understand that, Steve. Definitely. Just come over here. So don't miss Mr. Steve Leahy's live stream. It is every Monday at 6 on his Facebook channel, Steve Leahy. And it's just fantastic. You don't want to miss it. I'm telling you, I learn so much every week when I watch it. Every week, you know. Oh, I'm so glad you're here, sir. And as you see, I'm just coming down just like this. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to cut out the hair only. Pretty much. You know, it's not going to be perfect. I heard a saying which I thought was really great. It says, if you want to create a perfect painting, it's easy. Be a perfect person and just paint. So I love that because you know what? Nobody is perfect. That's the human condition of being imperfect. And how, you know, so it's liberating. Just, you know, do the best you can. Never try to be perfect, you know? And let's see. Just going to put this here the best I can. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to put in the hair. We're just going to put in the hair with the light mixture, right? The light mixture is going to be just to establish the hair and establish those nice hard edges. And also not to make her eyes look like they're so overpowering, which they are right now, because everything else around is white, right? So let's go ahead and take care of this. Let's see. All right, so now we have our light mixture here, and let's go ahead and pull this down, make sure we don't have any billowing up, right? That's something we don't want to have, you know? I'm just going to look underneath just to make sure that things are happening correctly. I'm pretty happy with it thus far. Always spray away from the shield. Okay, spray away. Look away, spray away, that sort of thing. So on both sides. So basically, you're really not worried about being so precise with the hair. You're really worried about not getting the dark on the background, right? That's the real worries, you know? Just establishing that hair. And so before I go any darker, I'm just curious to see how this is going, okay? So let's take a quick look. And the great thing about magnets, you can take them off rather easily. And we can see if we're close or not close or what have you. So let's see. Okay, starting to look pretty good, I think. I kind of like the way it's, there's the ear and it's coming down. So yeah, and then I can come down here and bring some of this dark. So yeah, so I'm pretty happy. Let's see here. And we're just going to come right over here. Right about there. Okay, great. And we'll just, once again, just go ahead and put the magnets close to the edge because you don't want the billowing. You know, the billowing is something that is going to cause a ghosting underneath, and you don't want that. At least I don't want that. I don't want that for you. So let's go ahead and continue. There we go. You ever some days you think you have a lot of magnets and then you look and then like where the other magnets go? I'm having one of those days where I'm like, where are the other magnets? So just around this edge here, coming down here along the contours of the face. I just want to get some strong edge work here. Okay, Dr. Steve, see you in a bit, sir. There we go. So, not perfect, but a good indication of where we want to be, okay? And then we can catch this up here, right? And then we have this coming down right here. So, you know, after you use that, you always have a little bit of cleanup, you know? Oh, the kids got a hold. No kids here, unfortunately. But yeah, if I had children, I know they would be playing with them, right? That's for sure. Kids love magnets. I used to love magnets as a kid. Magnets are fun, actually, right? I think so. So as you can see now, this is all the construction phase, right, of your painting. There we go. Okay, so we have a dark over here on this side, just on the outside of her ear here. So let's go ahead and construct it. Pretty close to this ear. And then we have a little earring thing going on here. A little more ear. And then more earring action right here. Now, can I maintain her edge, right? That's the question. I want to maintain the edge where her fingers are. And I believe I have a freehand shield here. And what I'm going to do, well actually it does come all the way down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this part off here. Just move this aside. Actually bring in my cutting mat. There we go. Put this over here. Bring back, where did she go? Oh, she's underneath. There you are. And just put her right here. And I could even hold her down, but you know, a couple of magnets isn't going to hoit anybody. Alright, so now let's go ahead and work on the dark on the other side of her hand there. On the other side of this shadow, I just want to maintain that beautiful edge. And since I have this already cut out, why not? Right, guys? Okay. Hopefully I didn't mess up that angle. If I did, it's always fixable. A little bit off, so no worries. So let's go ahead and use our freehand shield here. And like I say, we're in the light mixture. This is going to be super dark. Remember, there's nothing that you can't fix, right? That's always the case. Nothing that you can't fix. Just go right along there, catch it up. And then if we look at the reference material, you know, always looking at the reference material, you can see that dark comes all the way down to here. There we go. So now things are starting to slowly come together, you know, very slowly, but they are coming together. And refrigerator magnets would last a week at your house. That's funny. It's funny but true, am I right? That's for sure. And so I really love her teeth, and I definitely want to, you know, maintain her teeth. So with that being said, I'm definitely going to cut out this dark over here because I want to make sure that I get that beautiful hard edge of her beautiful smile. So we're going to do once more. We're going to put Miss Lipa aside here. There she is. And so, okay. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut out the teeth. But the first thing is I want to cut out this dark, and I want to make sure that I have this correct. So everyone pay attention to this particular stage because it is crucial for your own work. If you don't do things like this, you're going to have problems throughout the whole painting with the teeth and the mouth. So definitely this is a spot where it really is so important for you to pay attention. So very important. here, you know, you have, we want to make sure we get this dark here really perfect, you know, the darkest part of her mouth, which is basically, you know, right behind her teeth, right? Any questions about this is really welcomed, because this is a very, very important part. Because what you do here is going to pay off throughout the whole painting. You don't want to try and freehand this stuff, meaning freehand those edges, right? You definitely don't want to be freehanding edges, that's for sure. On your ink, what size? These are actually 10 ounces. They're 10-ounce size. I don't recommend anything more than 10 ounce, David, great question, because, you know, you want to use them up. And when you use them up, there's less air going in and out. Let's say if you have, let's say, a 1 ounce, you know, let's say, no, it's a 0.10 ounces. And I believe that's how big it is. I'll double check on that, but they're real small. And you definitely want them that small, Lee, that's for sure. And let's go ahead and see if we could get this perfecto. Perfectamundo. Let's see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and spray this. Now hopefully I nailed it, so let's see. I'm going to hold it in place, but I'm just going to peel it up and see. Okay, very happy with that edge. So now that I have that, let's go ahead and make it a bit stronger, shall we? Because that edge on the teeth is crucial. You know, crucial, crucial, crucial. So right there you see him a little bit, tiny bit off. So let's, where am I off? Just up a little bit this way. Let's see if this fixes it. Okay, so we can manually fix that, but you see we have a nice edge there, and I could come back in with my airbrush here and I could fill that in. But the thing is, I established this really beautiful edge work here, which to me is the most important, you know? Very, very important to get this edge work here. Not only is it important for her likeness, but to establish the depth of her mouth, which is going in, and everything else is coming forward, right? Oh, definitely order with PayPal, yes. And I'll send you, whoever orders any of the inks or anything like that at paintedglyphs.com, www.paintedglyphs.com, I'll send you extra inks today. So that's a pretty good deal. So definitely make that happen. I'll definitely take care of you and send that out ASAP. I already have a new batch made, so that will actually go out tomorrow. So that would be great if you did order. Okay, so you see we have that, but we still are not done because I want to make sure that the lips, I'm painting the lips, right? And I want that edge. So I'm going to take another one here. Let's see. One that I didn't work on. I'm going to just put her aside again. This may seem tedious, but this is the stuff that really pays off at the end, right? You know, I want your work to really be powerful. And for it to be powerful, you have to have the best preparation. And so you get those beautiful edges after you do preparation like this. All right, so I know, I always tell my students, it's so important to do the little things right in the early stages, because if you don't, you're going to be paying for them forever. Forever and ever and ever. And I don't want that to happen. I want your painting process to be smooth and fluid. That's what I want for you guys. So now what we're going to do, since we did the edge of the teeth, the bottom edge, let's do the top edge. Because then those teeth are really going to, they're going to sing. They're going to really pop out. They're going to have depth. Like I said, that's why I do these live streams for free. I want your work to be better, whether you're able to take my classes or not. It's always better if you take my class. However, if you can't afford my class, I would have died for something like this when I was young, and to have an artist that cares and wants your work to be the very best. I mean, it's so rare, and that's what I want for you guys. I want your work just to be super powerful. I'm just going to pull this down here. So we're going to be painting her lips. Dua's lips. Dua Lipa. Her lips. I wonder if that's her real name or is it short for something. I know she's Albanian, so that might have something. Let's see here. So we're just going to come here and bring this down if I haven't already. Okay. So this comes out here. So I have to come in, come down here. I already did, I believe, right? Let's see. Then come up here. And then bring this finger, her little finger. There we go. So let's see if Tim did this right. I have been wrong before. And I know you're saying, no, Tim, there's no way you were wrong before. No, I know you're not saying that. Let's see. So what I'm going to do, since I have that lip in place, I'm going to make sure I put a magnet there. I'm going to put this on here. It wasn't optimal what I did, of course. Go. I have her lip here. What I should have done in hindsight is to keep that lip but I do have this piece here, and if I put it in like a little puzzle, I can take one of those little guys, one of these little guys right here, pa-pow, that fits rather nicely. And now I could go ahead and place in this finger, just like so. And now I could work on that other edge. Okay, so let's see how this goes. I just want this inner edge. I'm not really caring about the lip because it's so light. I don't want to have a hard edge. All right, so let's see how that goes. And remove this. Put this over here. Okay, so you see, not bad. So that's actually what I really wanted. Over here, we have another part of her lip here, just a little bit of a dark. Just catch that little bit of a dark, just right there. Okay, so that's not bad. We're going to move all the pieces aside. And let's see, move this here. Okay. There's the magnets. Secure her again. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to continue working on her. And, you know, in the early stages, it's more like sketching than it is painting. You know, that's how I feel. I really feel it's a lot of sketching. So let's continue moving down here, and I'll use my freehand shield. And you can see how the finger comes down right here, and then doesn't go out here, actually connects right here. So you always keep with the 1 second rule. It's going to help you find your mistakes, okay? So that's really important, to find your mistakes. See, at first it looked pretty scary. I know you were thinking, what's going on, Tim? But don't worry, you know, the beginning is always a little bit scary. But that's why we do it, you know. It's the whole painting, you know. It's from start to finish. So now I'm going to start moving around quite a bit. Start getting some of these darker areas. Darker areas that help really describe the form. That's what you want. You want to describe the form. And then we do have some areas that we do need fixing, and you'll see them there and about. And so we can get a soft eraser, like a kneaded eraser here, and perhaps we can start shaping some of these shadowy areas here. Let's see. We have the mono eraser. And what we want to do is we want to start to shape this cast shadow. Remember, a cast shadow actually, you know, follows the form of, that cast shadow actually follows the form of whatever it's casting upon. The shadow will actually wrap around it. Like, let's say you put a white sheet, a big sheet over a car. That sheet is going to conform to the form of the car, just like the cast shadow is going to conform to her chin. So that's why you definitely want to always look at the cast shadow and make sure that that yours is actually conforming to the chin. Oh, thank you, Willie. Willie says he has faith in me, and I really depend on that, my friends. Thank you. Really depend on it. So you see how the eraser is actually, the eraser marks, I mean the pencil marks are actually erasing. So that's encouraging. Very, very encouraging. So always changing the technique, always doing things different, never staying still, right? Just like that. And just getting rid of some of the pencil lines we don't need anymore. Now down here, very interesting, we have sort of a rich dark right here. So we can always come back with the pencil, especially if your line drawing is not perfect, right? So here we have this part of the ring, and just above the ring you'll see right here, going pretty much a little bit higher than 3 o'clock, we have this sort of contour of her chin, and then that is intersected with the hand and then the cast shadow. So that's the kind of thinking I want you to have. Always double check, always look to fix your drawings, never believe your projection or any other way that you applied the line drawing to your artwork, right? You always want to be critical, have an critical analysis of what you're doing throughout the process. Mr. Bill, how are you, sir? Very good to see you. Thank you so much for hanging out. Part one's always interesting. So it's always good to see you, and I'm honored you're here. There we go. Working on some of the more, some of the more subtle contours here and there. It's so important that we establish the teeth like we did, and then we have other teeth over here, so we don't want to not pay attention to that. Teeth are so important in a project, so I really want you to really concentrate on the early going to getting that right, because it is a very crucial part, and if it's not done correct, it's going to come back to haunt you forever and ever throughout that painting. Then we have a little bit of her top part of her lip, just like that, and then it shoots down and we have this little triangle right here. Very crucial element. And so now we want to basically come in with some of the dark edges. So we definitely want to continue moving around and creating a sense of oneness. It's very important to have that sense of oneness, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for somewhere where I could cut out the dark, and I think I have something cut out here with Mylar. Let me see. Let me see if this works, guys. I have this, I cut this out of Mylar, so let's see if we could make this work. You never know, right? We're going to double check and see if it works. Let's see here. And nope, it's not going to work. So we're just going to have to cut this out manually. So we have this here. So we want to do the dark here, but we don't want it to mess up the light areas. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut out just the face. But do I have just the face cut out? I do. So, but where is the positive of that? So if I could find that, that would actually help. Let's see. Let's see. Well, what I could do, rather than do another cutout, I'm just going to go ahead and no, because I do want that edge. So let's move her aside, bring back this, and I do want the edge of this here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to cut that. So I'm cutting out the dark of her jacket. And what that's going to do is help maintain and strengthen the line of the hands, right? And then of the hair. So what this does, it helps bring things forward and bring things backwards. That's important. Thanks, Flying Symmetry. I hope you have a great night, and I appreciate your time. And always feel free to contact me if you have any questions, my friend, okay? I'm always happy to help. move this back. So we have this big shape right here. And if I look at the jacket, so I'm basically just going to cut this out as it comes down, just like that. And then we'll bring this down over here, okay? So now we'll have this edge here, and we can go ahead and establish that. And let me just get rid of this little doodad over here. There we go. Oh, okay, so I already have that edge, so I don't have to worry about that. So my main concern was this edge right here. You know, I worked so hard on this hand here, we definitely don't want to lose that edge. So we'll come back with the light mixture. See how we got this, we have this nice dark edge here. Once you establish an edge like this, it pretty much stays there forever. It's almost impossible. You ever put down an edge you didn't want? It's almost impossible to get rid of. So let's see what we have. Okay, beautiful. So you see we have that edge established, which is really nice, and then we can pull up that dark over here. So it's definitely working out. All the preparation and going to these steps is really paying off. So little by little we'll get there. I'm so glad your wife's feeling better, Mr. Bill. You know, that's such great news. And you can just clean up that edge very easily here. But you see we have that nice established edge, which is really important. And you see we do have some hair coming down right here. We're going to get rid of that pencil line in just a moment. Let's pull her down here. Okay, so you see what's happening is little by little she's coming together. We're not ignoring any areas. If we are, we're going to make sure that we rectify that. So make sure we're not ignoring anything. And if we are, we need to address it ASAP. Go. So right here, comes down here. So the jacket comes down a little bit over here. So we need a little correction here as we go. And then we have the hair coming down like so. There we go. Okay, so now we can go ahead and establish the dark of her ear there. So we'll put that ear. Let's go ahead and make that happen. Get that nice edge. And of course you'll see right here we have this edge that comes here, and now we have to establish the dark of her jawline here. And see how it actually is darker here and then it fades. So you're going to start out like maybe at 2 inches. And then when you go down here, you're going to be at maybe 3, 4, then 5 inches. So you see how I'm getting that nice blend. Don't try and do it. Let the airbrush do the hard work. Distance is everything. Night, Patty. It's great to see you. Take care of yourselves. Always good to see you. Don't work too hard tomorrow. Patty always has to get up early, so that's why she leaves the live streams early. So she works very hard. Willie too. Willie always has to get up. Willie, what time do you get up? At 4 in the morning, I think? And I know Brad gets up at 5. No, 6, I think. Right, Brad? Oh man, that's true. That match painting was amazing. Willie at 3:30. It's always an honor that you spend some of your time with us every Wednesday. So thank you for that. That's nothing that is anything but, you know, I'm very grateful for. You too, Patty. And Brad. Thanks for, you know, hanging out and supporting this little channel that's been going on for a while, right? You all have really helped it to continue. I mean, without you all, it just wouldn't continue. It just wouldn't. And so I never want to forget that, and you know, your contribution to the community and all that. Honestly, that's something that I don't take lightly at all. At all, at all. And I'm always honored. So right here is a tricky spot, right? You know, you could say, okay, there's just this cast shadow from this finger going there, but I want you to really pay attention to, and you know what, there's nothing wrong with using the pencil, you know, because it's going to erase, so you just be careful. So you see how it curls in like this, just a little bit, just a little curl, an indication of a curl. It's kind of thin over here, and it goes straight up and down. And then I like to do like a pincer movement, where I actually will go from the bottom here and then to the top, right? So that I like to do. So I'll start from the top here, right? And then I'll see how it kind of is fatter here, much fatter, comes out pretty fat, and then it comes in dramatically, and then we'll come this way and we'll see it stops here and then comes out rather dramatically. So you see how we're able to get that? So that particular, uh, shape of that cast shadow is going to go such a long way in understanding and getting proper construction of that finger, and also construction of her chin. And those are the little things that we don't think about that really, when you're doing a portrait, really sing when it comes to having a likeness, right? So definitely. And then over here again, so we'll see that, you have this little, the cast shadow comes down right here, and it doesn't connect like right here. If it did, that would be one thing, but it really doesn't. So you got to see where it connects, and then where it sort of breaks out to the left, and also the shape right here. So this positive and negative shape are going to go a long way into getting the likeness of Dua Lipa here. One second rule is going to keep you honest. So when we're looking at the finger, it's not just a finger, even though the drawing, don't, just because you project it or whatnot, doesn't mean a thing. You're going to look, and you're going to have that critical analysis of your work. So right here where it makes that turn, this finger actually shows a little digit here. So it goes in here and then comes out. So you see that little digit? I would have missed it if I didn't pay attention. And then I'll go ahead and erase it as I, finish this up. And we want that edge, right? So there's two ways we can do it. We do have the fingers actually cut out, right? So we can put that right here. Right here, we could get that edge right over here. Just going to use this hand and paint with this one. It's more to keep this finger clean, right? That finger being clean is so important. So Colette says, Tim, is that a number 2 pencil? Actually, I did this one with the an H pencil. So, but this one right here, this is F-lead in a Pentel 0.5 mechanical pencil. Good question. Very good question, Colette. And let's see. So as you can see, we're working on the bottom part of Miss Lipa here. Bottom part of her face. And we want to paint her bottom lip as if it was a three-dimensional form, okay? Something working on a railroad, that's funny. And then we have a dark here. We don't want to get fixated in one area, but we just want to make sure we establish it, and then we could move on. Actually, it's funny you guys should say that. Did you guys hear the train in the background? There we go. And let's go ahead and develop those. Actually, before we do that, we have some work to do over here in the neck area. So I'm going to go ahead and try and erase some of this white here to get a gray. Let's see if that's possible. Well, we are getting rid of the pencil mark, so that's good. The pencil lines are going away. So we have a little light cast shadow over here. The great thing about Drew Blair's 50/50 illustration white is that it does not trap in the pencil lines, at least in the first hour. So you see how things are really starting to shape up little by little. Tim Kirby, hey, how's it going? Good to see you, Tim. Great first name. Oh, I'm so glad you're finding it informative. Been using an easel to airbrush. Notice a lot of people are painting on a flat surface. Do you find it more natural? Not at all. The reason I used to always paint on the easel, you can see the easel behind me, right? And so, but when I started doing these live streams, I basically have been using an overhead camera, and so just so you guys can see clearly what I'm doing. So I started getting accustomed to it, and now I paint like, but now it's almost like being ambidextrous, Tim. I can paint on the easel and paint on flat. So I think it's good to do both, just so it increases your, you know, your dexterity, right? So that's so important. Definitely do both if you can, because I think it's going to definitely be advantageous in the future if you want to do demonstration or a video, because if you're doing it straight up and down, it's just not going to be as good if you're doing a demonstration if you are, you know, as if you were, you know, working on a flat surface like this. But really, I don't see a big difference too much. I mean, it's not like you have a better view or anything like that. There is a perspective thing, but your eyes basically make that up. You know, you definitely compensate for that. So it's nothing really huge. So right here, it's gray, it's not white, so I'm just going to paint this in here. Paint in this value here and here. Also, let's go ahead and let me get a little bit of a less aggressive eraser here. Let's try this little guy, Faber-Castell 7056. Let's see if it works. If not, we'll go back to the more aggressive. But it seems to be doing the trick. So the work is definitely geared for using the pencil, but not having the pencil come back to haunt you, right? So keep that in mind. I am thinking of maybe a knock. So you want to keep playing around till you find the eraser that is the least aggressive and does the job. Because we are working on regular paper here, and we definitely don't want to beat up the paper because we may need it for erasing down the line. And you do have a finite amount of erasing to do, you know? So I'm glad that that was helpful, that's for sure. Very glad, Tim. I love how the eraser marks are going away. Love, love, love it. And it's not digging into the white, which is good. Okay, so now we still have the light mixture in the airbrush. And Nameless says, when's your scheduled tea break? Because I need one too. Oh, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, that's very good. Nameless subscriber says, okay. So everyone get yourself a glass of tea or whatnot. I'm actually going to put the kettle on. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I am back, and all right, so the tea kettle, once it whistles, so as you can see, we are going pretty well. We're moving at a pretty good clip, and actually, if anything, that cat steps on me. That cat's the boss. I'm not. That's funny, Willie. And so one thing to really be weary of is when you do the white mixture, when you go into the light mixture after the white mixture, it's going to seem a lot stronger than normal. And what it is a contrast thing, right? The contrast is really super strong, and that's what's causing it. So here, this looks really powerful, like she has, this is like too dark, but it's going to catch up as we darken areas around this, all right? So always, realize that in initial stages, you're going to have really high contrast because everything's very light, especially in the face. But definitely have faith that it's going to work out, and just take your time. So I guess at this point, we can probably try and get some of the shadows just by erasing some of the white, right? Let's see if we can do that. And that should significantly give us a head start, maybe. And so when we do come in with the, with the light mixture, perhaps it won't be as strong, overpowering. But like I said, the whole simultaneous contrast thing, it's gonna definitely be overpowering at first, but it will calm down as we, later work in there. So, we come in with the midtones, and the darks are not gonna look so dark, especially when we actually darken them significantly, get those darkest darks. You don't want to get rid of the pencil lines too early, because it's almost like, getting rid of your training wheels before you learn how to ride a two-wheeler bike. So with the painting, you want to have the pencil lines that are going to help you with your measurements and everything like that. You don't want to have to, go ahead and measure it again, if you already have it down, you know what I mean? So why do it twice if you did it right the first time? I'll use a more aggressive eraser. What is a good one is the 7058B, right? So we can get a little more aggressive here with that one. That could get rid of some pencil lines that are a little more stubborn, right? And then we can make sure we get those really nice subtle shapes that we're working so hard to accomplish. You have a nice dark over here. So you see, as we are able to do very subtle changes by just erasing the white mixture that we put in earlier, and then we can go and reinforce that. So use every tool, in your toolbox to do the best job you can. Oh no, it was the cat. It was the cat. That's funny, guys. Yeah, it did sound like cat in the kettle. Those are very, very similar sounds, right? That's for sure. That's hilarious, guys. Lower the contrast on my picture. There we go. I don't look like Boris Karloff or anything like that, so I actually lowered the contrast on my photo. As you can see, doing these subtle changes are going to go a long way. So right here, we have a couple of pencil lines, but I don't want to get rid of too many of them. Just a little bit, just the ones that seem to be getting in the way of her likeness. go. Oh, so you walked away with the wireless earphones and ran back when you said something about the tea is done. I gotta make sure that the studio's right next to my kitchen. So, you know what? I gotta check on it. Be right back. So I find if you don't have it airtight, it doesn't whistle. So I didn't have it airtight. So now when it whistles, it'll whistle, you know, when it's ready. Otherwise, it just won't whistle. So it'll be like, you know, really, really hot tea, but I'll never know that it's boiled. So let's see here. Okay, so now we can go ahead and start to work up. We're not going to do anything because you guys hear that. That is, says, child games work on adults too. I'll be right back. Go get tea, guys, if you have it. Kitty cat. What? That wasn't too bad. I got it done pretty quick. So I hope you guys have your tea. What's interesting is I have more people watching my live stream when I'm not actually on the live stream. So maybe next week I should just go ahead and turn on the live stream and go in the other room. I might have my best attendance yet. So thank you, Bill. Bill says it looks great. I appreciate that. And there goes the cat meowing. That's funny. Yes, she always has to greet me. John says he has to grow old, but he doesn't have to grow up. That's true. And Tim says, would you mind if he sends some of your black and white portraits for some honest critiques? Of course, you know. Definitely. I love that stuff. I love when you guys send me your work. I'm going to send you my email, okay? I want you to email it to me and I'll get back to you. Not right away sometimes, but I will get back to you. You know, I have classes and everything, but definitely always happy to look at fellow artists' work and help inspire you. So here is my email address. Hey Todd, how's it going? So here's my email address, paintedglyphs@gmail.com. So I want to show you guys something. This is pretty cool. I am going to start to have t-shirts that I'm going to do that are just for airbrush artists. And if those of you who haven't seen, my Facebook, it's right here. Let me show you. I'm going to put in the file here. Let's see. This is going to be my first design, which is pretty cool. Let's see. Where is it? Okay, I know where it is. So this is my first design for a t-shirt, and I hope you like it. And so it has my Extreme Patriot arrow up here, and I went ahead and changed the tolerance so it has that kind of old, kind of grungy look. And it's going to be on either a white shirt, a gray shirt, or a pink shirt for the ladies. So, like a baseball type of shirt. So there'll be more information I'll send to you guys. But I want to offer shirts that I feel, as an airbrush artist, there's hardly anyone that's out there as that are other airbrush artists, and we want to talk about our airbrushing, but we never have a segue. So if we wear shirts that say, have an airbrush, has some really cool sayings or, inspirational quotes, I think it will enable us to, educate the masses and talk about airbrushing and maybe get other people involved in it. And it's just always so great just to talk about airbrush art to people. So that's my latest thing. So be on the lookout for that. I'm also going to do mugs, for your tea or coffee, which is really great. So anyway, that's my latest venture I wanted to share with you guys and girls. Okay, so back to the light mixture. Let's continue. So I have my tea. I hope you guys have something good to, some nice refreshing beverage, just hang out, Hats are definitely down the pike. Yes, definitely gonna do hats. That sounds very exciting, that's for sure. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to start to sketch in the other parts of the eye there. Her eyelid is right here, so we want to make sure that we're able to draw with the airbrush. And get that value correct here. And you see that lightens things up as well around her iris and everything. And over here, it's a little darker as it comes up. And you want to maintain your distance because that's going to keep everything very smooth, Oh, definitely. Definitely we could do it on the back for you. So I'm making them myself. So, definitely to order if you want it on the back and maybe just do something over here on the chest, that would be cool. So definitely, I'm actually going to be, designing and making them myself in the studio, not like a third party. So yeah, you can request it. So that's really cool. So definitely, that's a great question, Hillbilly. And yeah, like anything else, I just want to do things, being an artist, number one, we're disenfranchised, but an airbrush artist even worse. So want to do something to strengthen the airbrush community, especially our little community here. Yes, that's another thing. COVID mask is going to be down the line. And I'm going to be asking you guys, what designs you would like. What are some designs that you would like on something like that? You just let me know. But that's down the line, definitely. Oh, so Todd ordered the airbrush from me, the Extreme Patriot Arrow to Custom, and his is coming tomorrow, so that's going to be exciting. So I'm glad to hear about that. And I want to know your thoughts and any questions you have, sir, when it does arrive. And right here, we're just going to construct the nose a little bit. Just this little light shadow. Now, when you want it to be very light, you're going to be about 4 inches away, and you're going to get that very light, subtle shadow here on the side plane of the nose. Remember, what you do on this ear, this eye, you have to do on this eye, right? Oh, lips. That's actually a good idea. Do lips on the mask. Wow, that's exciting. Very cool. Maybe something to do with our group, ink flingers, right? So I'm looking forward to that, guys and girls, definitely. Oh, he said that his inks didn't look like that today. That's okay. Oh, thanks, Brad. So Brad owns several of my custom microns. Sorry, Extreme Custom, the Extreme Patriot Arrow, the custom. Brad has several of them. And now I'm being very subtle here, very subtle with the values, because it's so light. Remember, light is always right when it comes to airbrush in the beginning with this technique. So you want to stay very, very light. And you see, when you are staying very light, you have a command of what's happening. It's not dictating to you what to do. You are dictating to it, which is very important. There we go. And right here, see how we established the darker the hair with the, with that shield that we made? And so now all we have to do is worry about this value. That hard edge is going to actually stay. It's hard to get rid of a hard edge, even when you do it light, which is great. So Todd says he's an Iwata guy. Well, you're going to love this. This might just bring you on over to the dark side, my friend. Yes, you do. Jersey, that's where I am. No, you're going to be very, very happy with this. I guarantee it. Well, I do definitely guarantee anyone who buys an airbrush from me, if you're not 100% satisfied, I give you a full refund, or I replace it if it arrives damaged. So that's the way I would like to be treated. So that's what I do for you guys who purchase from me. So you can see she's starting to come together. She's very light, but that's okay, right? The CMSB is a beautiful airbrush, and thank you so much. It's wonderful to have my Extreme Patriot Arrow in the same sentence, Hillbilly, as the Custom Micron, because Custom Micron is a beautiful, beautiful piece of machinery. Always got to give it props. So when I'm doing like detail like that hair, I'm going to, decrease my distance And you know what? Even though in the beginning it looked kind of touch and go, you can see as long as we stick to the program, guys and girls, we're gonna be okay. Just stick to the program. You know, it's like in football. You know, you see a lot of football teams when their game plan is the running attack, but when the running attack doesn't work, they start, you know, in the early going, they start passing the ball, and then before you know it, 3 interceptions, they're down 21-0 because they didn't stick with the game plan. And that's what we want to do. We want to stick with this game plan for as long as possible, right? And that's what we did. And you can see, you know, by sticking with the game plan, now we have control. We have much better control than we did before. Thank you, Willie. I appreciate that. And thank you so... Oh my God. Guys, it's 11:28. I can't believe it. I was so engrossed in the work. And I guess that's a good thing, right, guys? That I'm so engrossed in what I'm doing in the live stream, I don't realize it's 11:30 already. But I had a lot of fun. And I just want to thank you guys, Willie, Todd, Hillbilly, Brad, you know, everybody that hung out with me, nameless subscriber, Colette, John, and Patty, you know, everybody, you know, we got Steve here and Bill. Thanks, Bill, for stopping by. David Lee. We had Bill. You know, W. Leon Artistry was here. Patrick. So Chris was here shortly. Roy. And I think that's everybody. If I missed you, I'm sorry. But everybody, oh yeah, there was one more person. What was that? Who was that? I just want to thank you. Where are you? And also Dr. Steve was here. So that was great. Tim, yes, Tim Kirby, thanks for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. So look at that. We had up to 21 concurrent viewers today. That's always good to be up in the 20s. Thank you so much. Those who haven't already, I want you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't, and hit that like button. That would be fantastic. So here we are. This is how far we have gotten. I think we're doing pretty well. I'm happy with it. So when we come back, we're going to continue with the light mixture, just making things round. We'll talk about light and shade and how it applies to airbrush, okay? So take care of yourselves. It's 11:30. We did a full 2 hours as usual. And once again, I appreciate you so much.